I'm Stanley King. I'm a retired architect. I head the co-design group. First of all, they started off imagining that the city was to grow enormously, and it turned out to a horrifying metropolis. And so they could see that without some care in planning was very necessary. Then we took a look at the climate change situation and considered where food supplies would come from. And so looked at the possibility of growing food locally and so into a food garden. So with the food garden, we asked them to imagine a day in the future when the food garden was in place, just as they would wish it to be, and what would their activities be throughout a 24-hour period. And then they elaborated on perception of these places, the aura, the quality of light and colors, the sounds, the tastes and smells, the textures they'd feel. And so they had a perceptual picture and a visual picture of the part of the design. And then we say, which activity would you like us to draw? And that represents a first stage of consensus. We ask them then, what would you be doing? Would you be walking, sitting, gardening, lying on the grass, or whatever? And so we draw it in quickly. Then we say, would there be other people around, and where would they be? And what are they doing? And they tell us, and we draw those people in. And so we get the social distancing. And then we ask them what you're standing on, what you're sitting on, what's around you, and we draw it until we get a scene which represents the vision in the mind's eye of the group. The drawings help clarify thinking. People have told us that it focuses the discussion. They say things like, I know what I think when I see what I say. Act of the group of people creating something like this brings them together. It's very positive. It brings a great spirit of optimism and hope and positive vision for the future in a way that they can visualize because it's an eye-level drawing. It's a perspective, and they can see the scene as they would imagine it. And this drawing then has the power of being a group image. To a decision maker, they can see that this isn't the idea of a single person, but it is the community at work.
My name is Susan Ing Chung, and I'm a science educator, and I'm also a co-design artist. What I'm doing is I'm drawing people's conceptions of what they want to do on the site, how they wish to experience the site, not just with their eyes, but with their senses. What they want to be smelling on the site and hearing, and what do they want to be touching, and how they want to move around. And as one person tells me what they're doing, then I draw them. As other people mention what they are doing, it is always in relation to that first person. So suppose the first person was sitting watching a pond. Then the second person would say, well, I'm picking berries close to this pond, and they can tell me how far away they are from the first person. As the drawing is unfolding in front of me, the first person can see how the second person relates to him. And then the third person can then enter into the drawing and create what they're doing. And this becomes a preview for future collaborative life, because all of us live in community with one another. All of our actions interact with one another.